So we've got our pieces here for our sides, and as you can see, I've got my 3 pieces. I've got 2 at 312 and 1 at 306. And as you can see, they all go in a row. 1 has an arrow pointing to 2. The arrow is not very clear there, but it points to 2. 2 has an arrow pointing to 3. And it's going to help create a nice fluid change around the whole product to kind of create an almost waterfall effect without having them butted up directly with a miter joint. Now, when we want to use these, remember we've got our lovely face edge here and our face. So our faces are the outside showing edges, outside showing faces I should say, and this face edge, for me this is going to be the one going upwards, and I want you to do the same. Just have that facing upwards, and the reason we're doing that is because this is where we're going to take all our markings from. So it's very important to realize that. But this is where we're going to take our markings from. Now, if you've gone through and you've decided that you maybe prefer a different section at the top, that's okay. But what you need to do is you need to come through, erase that face edge, and redraw that on. Because sometimes we wanted to keep this material down here, but I actually want this to be the top of my project. So I'm going to come and do that for all 3 of mine. See, make sure you erase, because otherwise it can get confusing and you can make mistakes. Now I've got my face edge assigned, because ultimately I want this to be the top of my edge, the top of my sides, we'll go with. From here, what we need to do is we need to mark down, using our face edge for reference, 40 and 80, and mark each of these sides. Now, something you need to make sure you're doing is you're being consistent with attaching it to the same side. So I'm going to mark backwards so you guys can see this 40 and 80. And note how, once again, I'm not going through and doing 40 and 40. And I'm going to use my square, mark that up as accurate as I can. I'm just going to come in about 10 millimeters. We don't need heaps. We don't need heaps of space there. Now, please don't become lazy and butt them up and be like, oh, that's close enough. Use a ruler, mark it properly. We're going to come across, and you've got to do the other edge as well, making sure that you are marking from the exact same edge. Because if you mark from a different edge, it's not going to align properly. And once again, using that square to come through and mark that up. Now, as you can see, I always marked from my face edge here. So I marked 40 down, 80 down, and I did that intentionally. What you need to go through and do now is do that for the rest of your pieces. Go through, use the metal rule, use the square, and use the pencil, and use the eraser when you make a mistake. Anyway, after you've got all 3 of these, I'll see you in the next video.